Welcome to Shiny New Clients, the marketing podcast that helps you attract shiny new clients to your business. We'll talk about social media, what makes people buy, how to go viral, and marketing psychology, all in 20 minutes or less. Whether you're a coach, a stylist, or a wedding planner, if you've got a service-based business to sell, this is the show you need to fill your calendar. I'm Jenna Warriner, your new marketing coach, and this is Shiny New Clients.
Could your business run without you? Worst case scenario, if you suddenly had to take a week or two off, would it still continue to run, or would you have to lock the doors, metaphorical or otherwise, turn on an email responder, and have your clients wait until you are back and ready to work again? I'm surrounded by bubbles and gray, and I don't know what from down, and all I can think is, life jacket, take me to the surface. Sorry for jumping in with quite possibly what you think is one of the scariest situations you can be in, but that's where I found myself about a week and a half ago. The day started like all fun and games. My neighbor had invited me to go out on a tube ride with them. I promise I'll get to business in a second. So if you're not familiar, a tube ride is when you have like an inflatable tube or seat or floaty and you tie it to the back of a boat and the boat drives you around in circles and S shapes throughout the lake and whips you around, and it's all a scream and so much fun, and the kids love it. And so the neighborhood kids wanted me to go out with them, and I said yes, and it didn't go so well because adult bodies don't move like kiddo bodies, and I ended up getting really injured. I busted my shoulder into 3 pieces and climbed back into the boat because I'm a hero, and passed my friend her phone and said, "I think you should call my husband." And as I started to black out and go quite literally blind, like I couldn't see at all, my life didn't flash before my eyes. My family didn't flash before my eyes. My business flashed before my eyes, which is also a joke that I stole from one of my colleagues, Nathaniel, when I was describing the situation. But truly, that's what happened. I thought, I cannot have a concussion. My business will not allow me to have a concussion. How am I supposed to run this thing if I can't use my brain? Turns out I didn't have a concussion. I was actually just going into shock. Very scary. They laid me down. There happened to be a retired physician and a nurse drinking at the cabin next door to us just by a fluke, and they came over and helped me and covered me in blankets and gave me an assessment, and it was all really freaking scary. If you missed the podcast last week, that's why there was no episode, because my ability to work is now severely limited. I'm not in pain. Don't worry about me. We're going to heal up. We're going to be fine. But recovering from that mental trauma has been no joke. And also the fatigue has been wild. Like the fatigue coming from recovering from the trauma and from healing a bone is wild. I usually get so much done in a day. I am go, go, go. I'm intense in most things that I do, and I work hard and I play hard, and I'm not doing any of that right now. And I didn't just wake up with a business that could run itself and continue to produce profits and continue to deliver to clients even while I'm in a position to not be working full business days. So I thought this was a great opportunity to come on and talk about some of the things that I've put in place over the years that have made it so that it's okay for me to take this time off and the business can continue to run itself, so that you can start slowly and steadily putting these things in place, because in my experience, it doesn't happen overnight, right? It takes a lot of trial and error. It takes training team. It takes trusting team. And maybe that's something that you have on your radar for down the line in your business, or maybe that's the position you're in now. So let me tell you a little bit about how I got to this place. A lot of listeners have told me they really resonate with the story that I tell really early in the show in an old episode about my old project management tool, if you can call it that. It was basically a bunch of cue cards with gemstones on them. The projects I was working on at the time, which I think was 10 or so social media management projects, which is a lot of clients for one person to handle, was on each of the cue cards. And when I was finished that task for the day and everything for that account had been managed, I put a gemstone on that person's name to note that they were done. And that was my project management tool. So one of the big things that's changed in the evolution of my business is a proper project management tool, not an agenda, not a bunch of crystals on my desk. We use Asana now. There's loads of versions of this, but basically a cloud-based project management tool where you actually give yourself proper deadlines and you can track things from any device and know exactly where every project is at and be really clear about what needs to be done for each project and when it needs to be finished by. I hate learning new technology. It really stresses me out. Actually, I feel like I can stop saying that, but for many years, I really hated learning any type of new software. And so switching things over from a very tactile project management system to something that was like on my computer and a new software that I didn't understand, very stressful process. Any big change like that in the business is going to be stressful, but what's the expression? Like eat the frog. Basically, you do the uncomfortable, stressful, annoying thing because you're setting yourself up for future success. You're setting yourself up for having way more clarity, for being able to collaborate with your team, for being able to work from anywhere, for all the things. One kind of litmus test you can use if you're having trouble leaving the thing that you're doing right now that you love and that feels safe but is particularly unorganized is, would the business I'm trying to become have this system? So would a multiple 7-figure agency have a system of project management where they use a rose quartz on a pink cue card? No, they would not. Okay, then let's start acting like the business we want to be, piece by piece by piece. One of the first people a lot of businesses hire is a virtual assistant, an assistant who only exists inside your computer, not someone who's coming to your house and like doing your laundry, but who's handling administrative tasks. Typically, when you go to onboard someone like that into your business, when you've been doing everything by yourself, it feels so hard. It feels so hard because you need to download your brain into theirs. It's going to feel hard until it feels so much easier. But one thing that will make it so much easier to begin with is, and this is a big one, if you're streamlining the delivery of whatever you're giving your clients and you're giving all of your clients a consistent deliverable. And I didn't think of this. I learned this working with the business coach. When I started my business, I was giving each of my clients a completely different package, different price points, different everything. And it took years to get it anywhere close to everybody getting the same thing. But when you're bringing other people into your business, whether it's a VA, virtual assistant, or someone to help you with the delivery, like a junior expert or someone who takes on an arm of whatever it is you do for your clients, it's going to be so much easier to explain to them the system and how everything works if you're not giving them a different system for every single client. People who are really good at this already are like wellness practitioners or massage therapists or service providers who take appointments because it's like, okay, the person onboards online, they sign their contract, they come in, we give them the service, and then when they leave, we ask them if they want to book the next service. So that's pretty straightforward. But when you get into the world of wedding planning or web design or social media management or coaching or really any service where you've kind of invented how you deliver it and you've just invented your own world inside your business, that's when this is going to be a lot trickier. As I started to grow my business, aka scale my business and bring in more people to help me so it wasn't just me doing everything, I brought people on and trained them up and did the thing and, clarified my offer and streamlined the delivery. And then when I was still feeling overwhelmed, I was talking to my mastermind about my business and explained to them the whole structure. And my coach pointed out, I had only hired people on delivery. So everyone I hired had a different piece of the puzzle, whether it was graphic design for my clients or writing for my clients or scheduling my clients' content or helping manage clients during a Magic Marketing Machine group call, which is our cheerleader role who supports the clients. Everything was on delivery and I was still doing everything on the back end by myself. So think the things that actually make the business run and managing all those people, that was still me. Oops. If you find yourself in that position too, I mean, not the end of the world, but again, I was so inside it, I hadn't even noticed that. And running the business and the back end part of it was so innate to me because I'd been doing it for so long. It felt easy because it was just like a task here, a task there, but it was a task here, a task there every hour of the day, So all those little tasks are adding up. And then any minute I spend corresponding with a client or booking a client meeting or processing an invoice or doing all of those administrative things is a minute not spent doing what I do best. Or you might hear that described as time not spent in your zone of genius. So the next step from there was to bring on an operations person who to you might look like that virtual assistant. That's kind of a step that I skipped. But this person needs to have access and answers. This person needs to understand how the business works, what the clients are expected to get. They need to have passwords. They need to know how to troubleshoot things. There's lots of things in my business where if it broke, I would just log in and do my little Band-Aid fix, like say on my email software or whatever. I know how everything works because I built everything when it was just me. So I can fix little things like that and it's no problem. And then it feels like so much more work to teach someone else how to fix that stuff. So we get back to the same problem you have when you're bringing on a VA as when you're bringing on an operations person. But the difference is, my understanding of the difference is when the person's officially an operations person, you give them that autonomy to also improve the systems and fix the systems, and they see the big picture and they're able to support the business and think of better ways for doing things, where typically a virtual assistant is someone who's more on administrative tasks. You may have hired them through an agency and they're going to do what they're told. They're going to get paid less and they're going to be sort of checking the boxes and doing what they're told. They might not necessarily be coming up with creative solutions or better ways to run things. My operations person also is aware of everybody else's deadlines and can stay on top of them. So it's not like I'm supervising the team as much anymore. She's looking at Asana and making sure things are getting done and making sure clients are being responded to and that everyone is still doing their job, even when I'm absent. Last thing, obviously there's more things, but the last thing on my list for you is content and batching your content. So I kind of won, kind of failed. The week that this happened, my injury, the accident was on a Monday, and I had been hard at work creating my new offer, Testimonials That Sell, which is a mini course to help you get better testimonials and know how to use them in your marketing and store them in a really easy, streamlined way. And the product was made, but I had scheduled for myself later that week to create all the content to promote the product. If you're new here, I teach a social media strategy and you can watch a free training down in the show notes on how to apply it, but you basically have growth content, nurture content, and sales content. So basically my growth and nurture, I have loads of content in the bank. I spoke at a convention last month, and when I was in the hotel room dressed in really nice outfits with my hair and makeup done, I batched a ton of content. I had a whole bunch of videos sitting there. I have graphics and carousels inside Later, my scheduling software that I use. So that stuff was all fine, but the sales content, the content that was designed to promote the Testimonials mini course, was not done because I was supposed to do it later that week and then launch it the following Monday. So that was not ready to go. So my content didn't need to halt because thankfully I had all of this content that could just be tossed up, but I started doing my sales content on the fly. Thankfully, I have so many years of experience in this, and I did already have a launch strategy listed out, so I knew what I wanted a lot of the posts to be about. I just hadn't made them. And it turns out like this has been actually really fun for me. If I have a little bit of energy in the day, I am really good at just turning on a camera and recording something, and it does not take me very long. Obviously, I have pockets full of tips and tricks to like go faster and feel more comfortable on camera. So launching the testimonials offer without batching the content has been a really fun challenge, and it's helped me be very receptive to the feedback that I'm getting. So if there's something that seems to interest people that I maybe didn't think of, I can then make a piece of content jumping off of that topic that they had brought up, which is cool. And it is a beta launch, so I don't have a ton of data or information from my audience. I have to tune into my audience and see what you say in order to know how to move forward. So that's been pretty fun, but in an ideal world, you want to have your content batched and ready to go. So if you do get sick, also, I just got COVID for the first time like a couple of weeks ago. This summer has just been batting me around like a cat playing with a chew toy. In an ideal world, you want to have your content batched. You want to have it scheduled so that if something happens to you, God forbid, you break your arm on the back of a boat, your content can continue to roll out. Your business can continue to market itself. And in an even more ideal world, your business can continue to run. I hope this episode has given you, you don't need to do it all at once, just some ideas on how you can start setting yourself up to get to this place if you're not at this place yet. And if you are already at this place, you're like, Jenna, all of that is done. I could tap out tomorrow and everything would run smoothly. Tell me your secrets. No, congratulations, because that is a huge, awesome place to be. And you should be proud of yourself because that's pretty epic. It's kind of the dream. All right, that's all from me. I'll see you in the next one.